What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, undefeated, unified WBC, IBF, welterweight, world champion, superstar boxer, who is widely considered by many to be top 3 best pound-for-pound fighters in the world, and ERROL the True Spence Jr. He shows the proof that everybody was looking for, said that they needed to see proof that ERROL Spence Jr. indeed had an injury. He had an eye injury, he had a laceration on his retina, which saw him have to pull out of the fight. His highly anticipated showdown with legendary 8-division world champion, iconic Filipino superstar boxer, Manny Pacquiao. So ERROL Spence had to pull out of the fight. The fight is scheduled to take place August 21st. That's next Saturday, Las Vegas, Nevada, T-Mobile Arena. ERROL Spence, he had to pull out of the fight. And with that said, you know, now you see proof. Everybody was claiming that ERROL Spence was avoiding Manny Pacquiao, that ERROL Spence, you know, was simply looking to get out the fight because he was struggling in training camp. That's the word. The word was that ERROL Spence was struggling in training camp, and so he needed to pull out of the fight with Manny Pacquiao. But now we see the proof that ERROL Spence indeed had eye surgery immediately. He said he went to 3 different doctors. He got 3 different opinions, and they all gave him the same results, was that he needed immediate surgery. So less than 24 hours after he announced to the world, or just a little bit over 24 hours that he announced to the world that he indeed had to pull out the fight because of eye injury, he shows the proof, he shows the world the proof to everybody that was claiming he was just simply avoiding Manny Pacquiao. Now he shows you the proof that he indeed had eye surgery. Okay, he's coming out the hospital. You can see he's coming out the hospital. You can see the patches on his eye immediately. So he shows the proof that he indeed had the eye surgery, and that he just didn't look to pull out the fight because people was claiming that he just wasn't ready. He was struggling in training camp. You saw the little clip in sparring that stated that he was struggling in sparring. He was getting beat up in sparring, is what people said by the guy, the lookalike, the Manny Pacquiao lookalike, the guy that was there in training camp to mimic Manny Pacquiao, mimic Manny Pacquiao's movements. You can clearly see. I mean, it's a PBC, Premier Boxing Champions, highlight clip from like an all-access type of clip. You know, so you know, with that said, you know, it's about a 20-second clip. Okay, it's not a major clip. It's not a clip where you can see, you know, 2 minutes worth of clip that shows that, you know, ERROL Spence is getting hammered in sparring and things of that nature. You know, he's working on, obviously. He is 31 years of age. ERROL Spence, 27 wins, no losses, no draws. ERROL Spence has 21 big wins by way of knockout. ERROL Spence is 31 years of age, 5'9.5" with a 72-inch arm reach, okay? We know ERROL Spence, like he stated, he suffered worse, okay? He suffered that horrific car accident that took place just 12 days after unifying the titles against 2-time welterweight world champion superstar boxer Showtime Shawn Porter, September 28th. October 10th, he suffered that horrific car accident just 12 days later, okay? And 14 months later, coming off of rehab, coming off of the car accident, he gets in the ring with 2-division world champion, former unified junior welterweight world champion, former WBC welterweight world champion, who is a superstar in the sport of boxing, and Danny Swift Garcia, a very dangerous opponent. Danny Garcia, he sits down on his punches, power in both hands. That's who ERROL Spence chose to fight, you know, coming straight away off of that car accident. When he was advised that, you know, that he should take a tune-up fight, ERROL Spence, he decided, no, I'm going right into the Danny Garcia fight to prove that I'm still a man that everybody think and question if I'll ever return to the sport of boxing, let alone if I'll ever be the same in the sport of boxing, okay? So ERROL Spence, he came back and he dominated Danny Garcia. He won essentially every single round that he chose not to take off, okay? So ERROL Spence, we know he should get the benefit of the doubt when he shows that he had an injury such as, okay? When you have an eye injury like this and you suffer a tear in your retina, okay, it's very, very difficult, you know, to not, show proof, okay? It's a difficult thing to hide. It's almost impossible for you to hide that you had eye surgery. It's nearly impossible. So with that said, you know, he shows the results that he definitely did indeed had eye surgery. After his fight with 4-division world champion Mexican superstar boxer Mikey Garcia, ERROL Spence, he called Manny Pacquiao into the ring. Manny Pacquiao, 62 wins, 7 losses, 2 draws, 39 big wins by way of knockout. He himself was knocked out 3 times. He's 42 years of age, stands at 5'5" with a 67-inch arm reach, okay? He's 11 years Errol Spence's elder. You know, he's 5 inches shorter and he has a 5-inch disadvantage, arm disadvantage. They're both southpaws. He called Manny Pacquiao in the ring to have a fight with Manny Pacquiao. Showed that he wanted to fight with Manny Pacquiao. Showed that, you know, why would he avoid Manny Pacquiao, okay? And then before Manny Pacquiao fought Keith Thurman, he was campaigning to get the fight at that point in time, okay? Then after he beat Keith Thurman, Errol Spence wanted to fight Manny Pacquiao at that point in time. Okay, he just stated he wasn't going to chase Manny Pacquiao. If Manny Pacquiao was interested in making a fight happen, he wanted to make the fight happen with Manny Pacquiao. But he wasn't going to chase him. It wasn't his number one objective. His number one objective is to simply get all the belts, okay, at the welterweight division, okay? Fight the absolute best that's there and get all the belts. Manny Pacquiao is a generation before Errol Spence, okay? But it's nice of passing the torch. It's still a legacy fight for Errol Spence Jr., and he was going for it, okay? At the end of the day, he wanted to fight, and it came as a shocker. You know, back in May when the fight was announced, it came as a shocker because not too many people expected to see Errol Spence and Manny Pacquiao. Errol Spence was not Manny Pacquiao's number one objective, okay? The number one objective for Manny Pacquiao was UFC legendary iconic superstar Conor McGregor, but that fell through as Conor McGregor, he lost his highly anticipated rematch with Dustin Poirier. He was knocked out in that fight. And then his second option was to fight Errol Spence's rival, which makes for the other half of the biggest fight in the sport of boxing between himself and undefeated 3-division world champion, who's currently he's the former junior welterweight undisputed world champion. He's currently the WBO welterweight world champion, who is widely considered by many to be the #1 best pound-for-pound fighter in the world, in Terrence Bud Crawford. Okay, that was his second option. We know there was an investment group in Abu Dhabi, you know, according to legendary promoter, top-ranked CEO and promoter Bob Arum. He stated there was an investment group in Abu Dhabi that was willing to put up the money, the necessary money for both the purses for Terrence Crawford and Manny Pacquiao, but the investment group fell out, okay? Once the investment group fell out, according to Bob Arum, he stated that top-ranked ESPN, they were unwilling to put up the necessary purses to stage the fight. It was too much of a burden for them. They didn't think they could get a return for their investment, so they were unwilling to put up the necessary money to stage the fight, okay? And so with that said, you know, it was supposed to be June 5th, according to Bob Arum. He stated that June 5th was the date that there was going to be announced for a big pay-per-view announcement, and all indications pointed to Terrence Crawford facing off against Manny Pacquiao. And Bob Arum, he let the fight fall through. Okay, Bob Arum, he admitted, he stated that I could definitely make the fight happen with Terrence Crawford and Manny Pacquiao. That's a fight that we can make. We could definitely make that fight with Terrence Crawford and Manny Pacquiao. You know, but we just don't see that we'll get a return on our investment. So Bob Arum, he chose not to, you know, continue on with negotiations. Then Manny Pacquiao's third option, Terrence Crawford was his second. Manny Pacquiao's third option was 4-division world champion, former foe of Errol Spence Jr., Mexican superstar boxer, and Mikey Garcia. Okay, Mikey Garcia was his third option. Mikey Garcia wasn't happy with the contract that he was offered. He stated just before we got the announcement of Errol Spence and Manny Pacquiao, Mikey Garcia, he stated that he wasn't happy with the contract. He sent it back twice. He says it's difficult dealing with Manny Pacquiao, negotiating with Manny Pacquiao, because he has such a big team. So you could be negotiating with one person today, and tomorrow you could be negotiating with a whole different person. So Mikey Garcia said that he sent back the contract, and he was waiting to get a better contract that suited him. And I guess Manny Pacquiao got tired of dealing with Mikey Garcia. He got tired of doing the runaround with Mikey Garcia. And in return, he just opted to just go the direction of fighting Errol Spence Jr. And the very next day after Mikey Garcia announced that, you know, the negotiations fell through between him and Manny Pacquiao, you know, Manny Pacquiao announced and Errol Spence announced on their social media that they're going to be fighting each other August 21st, Las Vegas, Nevada, T-Mobile Arena. So that goes to show that Errol Spence was not Manny Pacquiao's #1 option, okay? So for people to say that Errol Spence is avoiding Manny Pacquiao, when Manny Pacquiao's #1 option was Conor McGregor, a UFC fighter, and let's just keep in mind as well is that Manny Pacquiao, when Floyd Mayweather opened that door for the crossover sport showdowns with Conor McGregor himself, and it was a huge, lucrative, high pay-per-view, the second biggest event in boxing history, Manny Pacquiao, he critiqued it. Manny Pacquiao, he stated that, you know, Floyd Mayweather was making a mockery of the sport of boxing, and Floyd Mayweather is not fighting real opposition, okay? So he stated that Floyd Mayweather, he needs to fight real boxers, not UFC fighters, okay? And so with that said, he critiqued it, but then he turned around and he said he wanted to know what it felt like to be in a ring with a UFC fighter, and that was his #1 objective, was to face off against Conor McGregor, okay? So that fell through because Conor McGregor was knocked out, and he wanted to fight Terrence Crawford. Then he wanted to fight Mikey Garcia. So Errol Spence, he made it clear when he called Manny Pacquiao in the ring and stated that this is a fight that I'm definitely looking forward to making. And he told Manny Pacquiao it would be an honor to get in the ring with you. Let's make it happen. Can we make it happen? And Manny Pacquiao, obviously, we went in different directions. So this is a legit injury now we see. As I told you guys, it's too difficult to stage and fake an eye injury of this magnitude, okay? A tear in your retina is a very difficult injury to fake, okay? And that the fact that he told the boxing world that he had 3 different opinions from 3 different doctors, and they all had the same conclusion, is that he needed immediate surgery. That lets you know everything you need to know. So Errol Spence shows proof that he definitely indeed had eye surgery, and he had an eye injury, had to pull out the fight, which is going to see Cuban star boxer, who's the WBA super champion, due to Manny Pacquiao being placed as champion in recess due to inactivity after he beat former unified welterweight world champion superstar boxer Keith one-time Thurman July 2019. He's been inactive. He didn't fight a guy in the top 10 of their ranking system, and they placed him as champion in recess. Yordenis Ugas was the WBA regular champion. They elevated Yordenis Ugas to a full champion, and here we are today. So let's see how everything unfolds. Errol Spence said he definitely wants the winner of Manny Pacquiao and Yordenis Ugas. Manny Pacquiao today, he stated that he's definitely open to seeing Errol Spence in 2022, possibly in late 2021. So we have to see how it unfolds. But that's all I got for y'all. Make sure you hit the like button, drop a comment in the comment section, let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue, Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Road. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.